So Turok the Dinosaur Hunter is about a Native American time-traveling warrior who kills dinosaurs, robots, aliens, dragonflies, and a couple jeeps. I didn't make a single word of that up. The jeeps are a boss. It's a real thing.
Wait a minute, isn't that a bit contrived?
So this game came out in 1997 on the Nintendo 64, and it was the premier first-person shooter of the time. You had other things like Doom, Duke Nukem, even Quake. Those things were coming out, but Turok really set the bar pretty high in terms of 3D graphics. Gun porn. There's an outrageous amount of guns in here, and I mean, there's like 15 guns, but each gun gets progressively more outrageous than the last, and it's very satisfying. This game's story has to do with the comic books, The Son of Stone. It started way back in the 1950s, fell into obscurity, and then Acclaim bought the comic book studio that made it. Then Acclaim was like, all right, we are going to hire another studio, Iguana, and we're gonna make a game about Turok using these tools you've been developing.
SpongeBob, we're not cavemen. We have technology.
Son of Stone comic book basically goes over the Lost Lands, which is a place where time has no meaning, and you have everything from prehistoric dinosaurs all the way up until these super advanced aliens all crunched together in one spot. And that's a really cool idea for a video game, to be able to go through those tropes, to just go from, you know, velociraptors to vehicles to machine guns to plasma rifles to aliens to whatever. The story basically revolves around a cyborg that is trying to get a weapon that can rip open space and time and amplify it and like rule the multiverse, right? That's a huge component of what's going on in this game. You're setting out to collect the pieces of this weapon before the big bad guy does. And none of that is explained in the game at all. None of it. In fact, I had to go on a Wikipedia binge for about 2 hours to figure out, okay, where did this idea of the campaigner and the chronoceptor, blah. I know those words don't mean anything right now, but I had to go and Google words that don't exist to find comic book pages about the story that I was playing, whatever. And the weirdest part too, the instruction booklet for the game had a comic strip at the end about a character named Joshua Fireseed, and you find out Turok is like a title that this warrior gets. It also didn't really explain anything in the story. It was a separate thing. And then to add even more confusion onto the story, the box art has that character Joshua Fireseed in the instruction booklet, right? Has that character. The other comics have that character. Joshua Fireseed is the main character of the second game. But in the first game, you're a Native American warrior named Talset. This guy Joshua Fireseed he's not even a part of the picture. He never comes up in the game. You never see anything about him. There's no secret ending. There's no cinematics. There's like nothing on this character, but he's on the box. He's on the cartridge. He's in the instruction booklet. Whatever, I guess. I mean, it was the Wild West of the Nintendo 64. They basically were like, they'll figure it out. Right.
Level 2, jungle. Welcome to the jungle. One downside of this game is the weapons, the shotguns and the bows use 2 different ammo sets, and if you get like the better ammo, you have to use that first. Fine, I guess, but man. Like, I wouldn't mind just using regular arrows to go through part of this level, you know?
So a big draw for Turok the Dinosaur Hunter fans are the guns. There are tons of guns. In the first game, man, there's just under 20 guns. Second game is a little bit more. Third game is a little bit more. These range anywhere from like a knife, bow and arrow, to a submachine gun, to a grenade launcher, to a particle accelerator, to a weapon that rips open space and time as you know it. So it's a lot. It's one of the first gun porn games. One of those games where you're like, how crazy can the weapons get? How crazy can these particle effects get? What can we do? One of my favorite weapons is called the alien gun, which you get early-ish on in the game, like level 5, I think, is when you can get it. And then level 7-ish, you actually see the aliens. So you can use their weapon for a little bit, and then you finally get to their ship, their whatever, it doesn't look like a ship. I don't really know what to call it. But you get to there and you start to hear the same weapon sounds and you're like, I know that. I know that weapon. I know what's going on. So that's kind of cool. The other generic weapons, like, you know, just a shotgun. The automatic shotgun's pretty sweet. I hadn't thought about that in a while. But truth be told, the last 3 weapons that you're gonna get, the particle accelerator, man, I can't remember the name of it, the big red whooshy one, and then the chronoceptor. Chronoceptor is the one that rips open space and time. The big red one, I thought it was like the Armageddon gun or something. I can't remember what it's called. That one just is like a small nuclear explosion that kills everything in the area. And that's why they did it. The particle accelerator can hit multiple enemies, they freeze, turn black, and explode, which you don't think is very impressive now, but in 1997, seeing an effect like that was awesome. There was no way you could have been prepared for that. If someone in 1997 said, hey, there's a game with a gun where you shoot a beam and it makes the enemy freeze in 3D space, turn black and electrocuted, and then they explode. What is even going on? You would look at them like, did someone make Akira a video game already?
Where are those going? Oh, just into the abyss. That's actually that's super cool. When you say it out loud, it sounds super cool. Is this the way I came in? Yeah, alright. Gotta get past that part, I guess. Need that. No way, alright. This game is very, very pretty.
The guns are very well hidden too. This game is just absolutely, I'll get into the level design in a second, but this game is so massive. They did a really good job on those guns. Those guns are ridiculous. And you never get tired of using them. As the guns get bigger and bigger and bigger, I feel like it triggers epilepsy a little bit more each time. There's a lot of flashing lights, a lot of bright colors. I mean, the last 2 weapons you get, the whole screen turns absolutely white for like 3 seconds, or you just hear this boom, and then the screen slowly fades back from a sheen white. It's cool. The levels themselves, just to go straight through from point A to point B, finish the level, man, 25 minutes? It's a good chunk of time, and you're running forward almost the entire way. To go through every nook and cranny of every passageway to find all the guns, all the secrets, all the buttons, all the whatever health, it takes a good 2 hours per level. And there's 8 levels. We'll say there's 7 levels. The 8th level's just kind of like a hallway. Right.
Oh, tell me, is there any tread left on the tires at all? Or at this point, would it be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway?
It does. It has so many classic video game tropes to it that are just, if you just go around the corner a little bit more, secrets, get some health, get some ammo. It's great. It was one of the first games to establish in a 3D world how to do that. That was so good. Oh my gosh. He shoots like a stormtrooper.
The enemies you can kill, there's a huge array of enemies in this game. There's a couple pages in the instruction booklet on like killer plants, triceratops with machine guns, dimetrodons, velociraptors, Tyrannosaurus rex, aliens, subterranean crab things. There's like crabs and worms. That made no sense. There's cyborgs, like gigantic robots. There's androids. There's demons. There's shaman. There's ancient peoples, poachers, everything. Like just the amount, and like they will have a generic model, and then they'll have like 3 or 4 different versions going up from that. So you have like a poacher, then you have like a super poacher, and then you have like a rancher, or I don't know, whatever. But it keeps going up and up and up, and eventually like you have these demon people who are like
Something from a different land.
which again, All of time and space is crushed into this one thing, and these creators were just like, what else? We have giant gorilla enemies, we have these skeletons that look like real people, we have robots with machine guns. What else can we throw in there? What do we do? What do we have? And someone was like, I got one. How about a demon with a wand, and he flies and he throws fireballs at you? Perfect! You get a raise! Because you don't just stumble upon an enemy. Sometimes you accidentally kill the enemy and you're like, what was that? What did I just do?
Do it! Just do it! Just do it! Just do it!
These levels are giant and vibrant and filled with just passion and care for the product that they made. There are multiple times you'll be traveling through these levels and you'll come upon a spot where you're like, was I really even supposed to get here? What is this? And then you'll find ammo and health like tucked away even just a little bit further past you, and you're like, they thought about that. All right, okay, cool. It took a lot of time and care developing the level designs. There are so much so that you can pull up the map with the left bumper, the L button, and it gives you an outline of where land is, where water is, where rocks might be. They give you a general outline of things. But to be tricky, the secrets, the hidden pathways and stuff are not on the map. And a lot of the times you'll find yourself in places where the map just doesn't help at all, and you have to kind of turn it off and go your own way. Because it wouldn't do you any good to try and maneuver across a map that doesn't exist for you.
Let's see. This is new. All right. Nice. This is pretty straightforward. Cool. Oh yeah. And then you go back over it. I remember this. Ah, jeez. The thing is, I don't particularly need any more health. I'm good there. Oh. Ultra health. Maximum overdrive health.
Not when I shift into maximum overdrive. Hi-ya!
The bosses, I'm not going to tell anything about the bosses. The bosses are so awesome. They pop up every 2 to 3 levels. The last 2 are back to back, so you do one boss and then you finally beat the final boss. If you would like a spoiler on the final boss, I mean, you can Google it or kind of read that little clip at the end of the instruction booklet, the magazine, whatever, the thing that they made, little comic book strip that they made. If you go read that character does show up. There's no fighting in the comic book. There's nothing. There's nothing. In fact, I mean, it's so awful. That comic book strip in the back of the instruction booklet is just the worst. Because you have this game full of guns. Full of guns. And then in the back of the instruction booklet, he beats the final boss with a baseball joke. Like a riddle. Are you kidding me? The controls in this game are going to go against pretty much everything you've ever played in the last 20 years. The N64 didn't have 2 joysticks, so instead they mapped out movement on the C buttons, so you get like a digital pad, like a D-pad almost out of the C buttons, and then your control stick would aim, because they figured that would be the easiest and most precise way to aim your weapon or move your reticle, would be using the stick. Fine. It's backwards. Like your left hand is going to control how you aim, your right hand is going to control how you move. So if you've grown up playing Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Halo, Overwatch, whatever, those games are opposite. It's completely opposite, and it took a while. I know that I used to play this game all the time back in the day, but sitting back down and trying to relearn how to use a controller, I felt dumb.
All around me are familiar
I had to take some time to practice how to strafe and aim all at the same time. And I let some of my other friends play it, and they were like, I can't move. I don't know how do you do this? What is... Okay, I don't know. Oh, okay. Jeez, why did they respawn so quickly? Right. Great, they're already all respawning. This game has such a short respawn timer. What is up with that? And they take away all of my explosive shells. Alright. You know, people born in the mid-90s to 2000s, if they were to pick up an N64 controller and try to play these games, and I know I reference Jet Force Gemini a lot, but 007 did the same thing. Perfect Dark did the same thing, where you would move around with the C buttons and then use the control stick to aim. There's some variation of that. Everything else in the game, awesome. Jump, super responsive. The strafe, awesome. Cycling through weapons, great. Firing is instantaneous, feels good. Feels good to fire a weapon in this game. Music, uneventful, like it fits the vibe. It's just like a lot of like tribal drums and nothing crazy. Some of the boss fight music is pretty cool though. It's really intense. It's a big thing for me. I like to be able to hum a game's songs when I listen to them. Like any piece of music, I want to be able to like sing along to it. You can't do it with this game. Not that that's like a bad thing, but you can't sit down and play this on a piano. The replayability of this game, it's pretty awesome. I probably wouldn't pick it up and start a new game every time, but to be able to play through the whole game, man, to discover every secret first time through, it might take you a good 26, 27 hours to really dig deep. And there are some parts that are very, very difficult that you might struggle to beat, honestly.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Tripped. That's good. Cool. God, it's so gruesome.
And the weirdest part about this gameplay is it keeps very close track of everything you've collected, everything you've killed, and everything you've done. There are places where enemies respawn and you can kill them and pick up more ammo or whatever else. But there's a lot of places where you go back into, like, say, the first level. You get through the first level, you're on level 9 now, doesn't exist. But you go back to the first level, all the collectibles, like to get extra lives or ammo or health, they stay gone. So when you do a trip through this whole game, like, you have to ration what you pick up, which is unique to this type of game. A lot of the time games would just reset the level 100%. Like, oh yeah, everything's back. All the power-ups, all the health, all the enemies, just go have fun, go try it again. Not Turok. Turok will basically go, you have a limited amount of health power-ups, ammo power-ups, extra life power-ups. Once you get them, they are gone. Good luck. Hey, good luck. So when you come home and you know, Christmas break, fine, this game is a lot of fun to pick up, but it's not something you would want to start over level 1 repeatedly over and over and over again. It's not like Skyrim. Skyrim, you could just like make an entirely new character. With Turok here, you would start the whole thing again, and it kind of feels like a collectathon your 4th or 5th time through, where you're like, but like ration collectathon, where you go through and you're like, I need to get a couple of these things, I need to get this ammo here, I need some health now so I can go pick it up here, but don't touch this other stuff because if I'm dying later on, I need to come back and grab it, which gives you the illusion of difficulty. It's not that it's extremely difficult. Anytime you turn the game back on, you go back to 100% health. So great. But if you want to play this game long term, sit down 4 hours, try and get through a couple bosses, you have to ration what you find in each level. You have to kind of acknowledge, like, okay, This is where the ultra mega super health is. I'm gonna leave that. I'll come back to that after this boss, which some playthroughs you'll see online, they do that. Ultimately, this game is a lot of fun. It's a very difficult game. If you haven't played Turok the Dinosaur Hunter, like the very first Turok, highly recommend it. You can see where all these first-person shooter ideas came from. This was developed from the ground up. Brand new. Iguana Entertainment did everything brand new. They took ideas from Quake and Doom, whatever, but they put it into a 3D space that was very unique for the time, super fresh. When me and my friends first saw that game, we were like, this is nuts. Look at all this blood and gore. Look at these death animations. Look at these 3D graphics. Look at these particle effects. Holy hell.
As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Sincerely, I had so much fun doing this game. I haven't played Turok in years. I just got a hold of Last of Us 2, so hopefully in the next few weeks I can get some good gameplay footage of that game. It's Halloween, so everybody be safe. Remember, wear your mask if you're going out. Have a wonderful time, and have a wonderful day. Bye.